Hello, everybody. I'd like to give a warm welcome to a special woman by the name of Christina Flynn, who is a dear friend and colleague of mine. Christina Flynn is also the founder and owner of Envision Design CDA Interiors, and she is a certified interior designer who does design a little bit differently. So let me tell you a little bit more about her. In her late teens, she studied in nursing, and due to legislation changes preventing the completion of her degree, she shifted into the technological field of computer science, which she enjoyed for many years in the sports, municipal, and educational industries. And when the opportunity of crisis arose, Christina shifted into the more creative field of interior design, leveraged by her aptitude for technology and many years of service. She has completed 4 years in interior design studies at both the New York Institute of Art and Design and our renowned LaSalle College for Arts in Montreal. And as well, she's CAP certified, which means she is specially qualified to assist our most vulnerable in our population to live safely in their own homes, living in place forever. She has been an active member of Interior Designers of Canada and DDA Canada, as well as being a board member of DDA's NCR chapter for over 3 years. Christina, I'm really looking forward to hearing about your work and how you create spaces that contribute to the well-being of your clients.
Well, thank you, Shari. It's a pleasure to be here, and I welcome everybody who's listening. So thank you again.
You're welcome. So tell me all about your journey into interior design.
Well, my journey to interior design was a winding pathway for sure. I initially did study in nursing, which stemmed from my overwhelming desire to help my father, who had multiple sclerosis. Even in my youth, though, I must say that with my younger sister in tow, we would craft new spaces daily by building and recreating rooms within our home or outside using whatever materials we could find. And throughout my time, even as a wife and a mother and a homeowner, we were constantly redesigning and renovating our homes, and to the chagrin of my husband, because he was part and parcel of every new space that I imagined. So I have to thank him for that. And then, of course, due to what I now call a crisis of opportunity, in 2013, I was able to fulfill my dream and study in the field of interior design. And I also had this epiphany that I could not only make spaces look beautiful, but that I can encompass the nuances of wellness for my clients and their design projects. And that made it more meaningful for me. In 2019, I officially launched, yes, COVID year, my interior design business.
Wow, yeah.
In that heartfelt direction. And it was due in large part to leader and mentor Linda Kafka, Living by Design. She helped me to see that I could really change people's everyday lives with great design. And this is where I could actually visualize encompassing everything that was important to me from my nursing, design, and technology, that I could not only do this beautiful design, but I could have this holistic approach through the perspective of health and wellness, and that my business and I could do something truly inspired.
Wow. So is that what led you to take a holistic health and wellness approach?
Yes, it is. It's when I had that epiphany, when I was meeting and talking with Linda from Living by Design at the HP Market, which is a furniture market in North America. And then I could see this pathway for not only making a space beautiful, which I adore, but one that sees how directly I can impact positively the daily health and wellness of my clients. And when I recognize that my business can actually reach into the heart of the issue in design. And I specialize not only in residential, but also in small boutique style on the commercial, retail, or office design. But all of these spaces, that my business of design could be wellness designed. And it was this ability to design spaces that considers all aspects of design, not only the visual and spatial, but backed by neurological science, and one that can encompass everything I care deeply about. And that's when I realized like my mission was clear. It was
That's
then
cool.
I knew, then I knew my business would provide design services for my clients that look at both the science of design and the art of design. And I would incorporate this holistic design approach.
So tell me though, how might your interior design approach differ from other people's?
Well, the science of design studies how great design incorporates best practice design principles, and it's these planned spaces that enhance human health and well-being. So our holistic approach to design incorporates these known standards, such as universal design, which is accessibility for all, living in place like for everyone. So whether someone has mobility, hearing, sight challenges, or whether it has to do with aging in place or someone who's had an accident, it could be a temporary situation. This is for everyone. Sustainability and eco-responsible design wherever possible. And it's through this analysis of the space and incorporating these wellness principles, such as biophilic design, by bringing the outdoors in, and by using well version 2 principles, which is all about health and safety in the built environment for either a home or a business. And it's this way that we're able to bring this holistic approach, that we incorporate these like nuanced health and wellness factors in our design principles and practices. And it's not done in a way, Shari, to overwhelm our clients. And many times they only believe, our clients, that we're fulfilling their desires for beautiful spaces, but we are actually taking their wellness consideration in every design decision we make for them.
That's really interesting and really cool. So I have a question for you. Sleep is something that I really struggle with. And so I'm wondering, how would you incorporate your design practices to help me sleep better?
Well, Shari, certainly I would want to go and help you do that just as a friend. So I would welcome that. But for the audience to know, for example, many people, by the way, often have trouble sleeping or even staying asleep, right?
For sure.
And we all know like how wonderful we feel when we do have a nice night's sleep. So a little bit of the science behind it is, I can't say enough how much light and light exposure can be the main driver of how we may or may not be able to sleep. And it can really interfere with our sleep cycles. So our bodies are cued by light, and it affects how we sleep. So exposure to bright light while sleeping can cause you so many negative health effects. Studies show, for example, that even breast cancer can be a risk factor with chronic sleep issues, along even with many metabolic and sleep disorders. And I'm not here to speak to that, but we can use like smart design techniques with the use of colors in the space, sound absorption with materials and textures, thoughtful design principles that we can help alleviate issues with your sleep cycle. We can work with light, the tone of light, the color of light, the ability for the light to be tunable, so it's the right temperature for when we're waking and we want to become more productive, and then again when we're sleeping, or if in the evening we wake. So these are ways that we can incorporate like a flexible lighting design with the correct criteria to help you with everyday living or even in your working environment. And understanding the life and work style of our clients help us create that personalized lighting design or any design plan, and we can determine the right levels for them in the right spaces. Layered lighting at the windows, you know, where we can have enough daylight coming in during the day, but total darkness at night.
Wow, that's really amazing. It sounds very powerful to be able to incorporate all that. But tell me, what if people aren't that concerned with the wellness, but are more concerned with your design services?
It is true that clients who often come to us are not consciously aware whether or not we're taking this into consideration with our services, but we are actually taking them into consideration. And though people are concerned about wellness every day, they don't necessarily see that as part of the design process. So that's where we're here to tell you it is part of our like personalized design approach. So with you, Shari, when I see your services and your holistic counseling, you have this very personalized approach when working with each client. Like you help bring change where they need it, their abilities to shift their energies inside the client, their ability to bring this internal awareness so that they can feel, you know, inner peace and calm.
Yeah.
So I find, like, in other words, your work is supporting the wellness on the inside.
Yes, I so agree. In the same way that I support wellness on the inside, your design services support wellness through changes in the environment.
Exactly. Like that's one way where we can help our clients' goals by supporting their well-being for the built environment. In other words, on the outside, right?
Right, 100%.
Yeah, so those holistic inner goals can be incorporated into a daily living practice, like helping clients sleep better, for example, or removing daily concerns or discomfort, frustrations. We can incorporate and relieve them of the task to create those spaces for themselves and their families. So often clients tell me, I don't know why I waited so long. Often I hear the 7, 8 years. Sometimes people just don't really have the time to create them. They know they need them, they desire them, but they don't necessarily have the time. So we relieve them of that task. So we help declutter the mind as well, so to speak, right? Because it requires also maybe a decluttering of the space. So a change on how we do things, an openness to understanding that seeing a beautiful piece of art upon entering the house might evoke a sense of peace, you know, rather than seeing, let's say, a pile of shoes and papers. Like thinking back on my childhood, my mom, single mom, many children. She was working every day, driving home through traffic. And at times she can come in and I don't know what it could be, but she might have seen something, shoes on the stairs, the broom was left out, and it set the whole tone for the evening. So so
it can make a big difference what happens when a person comes home and into their space as to how the whole evening goes.
And it's often a neglected area, but imagine, if you will, like you are this parent, you are this individual taking this difficult drive, whether it's to work from home or from work to home. But we've been there and we've had this opportunity to craft you a beautiful transition space. So instead of you entering this highly charged area, whether it be an open office or the home with the children, we can help create this mindfulness space, help it with light, the right light. When you come in, the right color, having sound, maybe visual barriers. So this can give you the time needed to mentally shake off the difficult drive. So imagine, if you will, the person's coming in, they see this art that reminds them they're home.
Amazing.
They get to sit down, they remove their work shoes and they put on their comfy home shoes. There's a place to put their work bag. There's a place to put their jacket. And at times too, we can use sound, right? Music, something that evokes a sense of peace, and that they can shake it off and transition with thoughtfulness in the new space.
I love that. It's just an amazing picture to come home and have that environment that's so supportive of you, you know?
And it's that, like, it's a space that's better prepared, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Allows you to be in the space with more joy, more acceptance, and more inner peace, like whether it's the entryway or other spaces in the home or the office. So when we look holistically at each person's individual needs and we are finding solutions to help them with their health goals, we have to remember, like, the mind is powerful. And if we can create solutions to problems that impact negatively in the person's mind, you know, they're frustrated or so on, and this is affecting the person daily, you know, and sometimes even we become denialists, right? We deny this is happening because it's part of our daily routine. We've just adapted.
Right.
But when someone brings us in for design services, we can shed light by asking the right questions so we can find the right solutions to help them. And it's this way we can support, the way I see it, like even your holistic goals and homeopathy goals for your clients. We can do that with like concrete changes to the physical environment.
Right.
And that assists, right? Like the individual's health and overall wellness. So if they're working on the inside, they're working on the outside. I think that's well-rounded, and it can only help everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to say, like, even you don't need a lot of money. Like, there are different tips and tricks that people can do in their spaces. But they really do need to set an intent and be motivated to follow through. So if there are spaces that they want to improve in their life, whether it's in the built environment or not, setting that intent and being motivated to follow through, it will get you there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing about your interior design services. I learned so much. I really didn't know that interior designers could actually do so much. And I was not aware of the impact that you have on people's quality of life through design. So,
well, thank you, Shari. It's a pleasure too. And that is one of our greatest rewards is seeing that impact and having that impact with our clients. And I like too is being able to have this creative wellness community where people know that we are surrounded, and they are surrounded by a community, a team that cares about their wellness. So we want to be part of that. We want to be with them. We want to be part of your groups. So thank you, Shari, for having me. And I really appreciate being here today.
You're very welcome. So I'm sure many people would like to get in touch with you. And what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, they can Google us at Envision Design CDA. I believe it's on the screen. And they'll find all of our social media through there. For those of who are piqued and want to discuss with us and talk a little bit about their interior design project goals, we do offer a type of meet and greet by telephone, a discovery call, and they can always book this of their own accord via our online availability calendar, and that they could find at www.gorendezvous.com/CDA interiors, and they can book a discovery call at their convenience based on the calendar. And then if they're not really ready to give us a call, they could simply maybe get into our newsletter. We send out a newsletter every 4 to 6 weeks. We don't inundate the inbox, and we do try to work on getting great content. So to do this, they would go to our website, www.cdainteriors.ca. And they would inscribe to our newsletter. There's a little prompt box, and they would enter their email there, and then they would be part of our blog content.
Okay, excellent. That sounds perfect.
Oh, great. So, thank you very much, Shari, for spending the time too with me today. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome.